Welcome to the Partnernomics Show, where industry thought leaders discuss the hottest topics in partnerships, ecosystems, and innovation. The Partnernomics Show is brought to you by IOLite Solutions, a product incubator specific to Salesforce. Now here's the host of the Partnernomics Show, Mark Brigman.
Well, welcome back to another episode of the Partnernomics Show. Good to be with you again today. We are joined by Mr. Andrew Wilson. Andrew, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, not much. Thanks for having me, Mark. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you for agreeing to hop on here, man. I've really enjoyed what we have developed as a relationship over the last couple of years of working with you guys at Shipware. So Andrew is a partner development manager at Shipware, which is based out of San Diego, and doing some really, really cool stuff in the shipping and e-commerce space that we'll dig into. But Andrew, before we kind of jump into our lineup of questions, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What in the world have you done in your career so far, and what landed you in a partnerships role?
Yeah, I appreciate it, Mark. And, based over here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and really started my career 10 years ago in sales. And, from there, found my own little niche in logistics, where I really picked up the passion about 7 years ago. It's been an interesting 7 years. I think the logistics space, it's easy to nerd out into once you get into it. But what was really cool is about 2 years ago, I was actually talking with an old colleague of mine and seeing the success that they've had in their own sales career. And I was picking their brain, and come to find out their success really drove from partnerships. They were partnering with accounting firms that were sending them leads, and they weren't doing any cold calling, anything like that. I was like, well, that seems like an easy button. Let's go that direction. No
cold calling. Sign me up for that.
So, I started, connecting more with our partner team here at Shipware, working with Greg Gunra and team, and just fell in love with the process. Not only is it, we're looking to gather leads and build revenue from that, but there's a lot of other strategic initiatives that can help fill in the gaps, help really create this hockey stick growth for the organization. And was really looking forward to being part of something like that could have not just an impact on my career, but also an impact on Shipware. And so it just aligned well, and I've been doing this now for a little over a year, and we're not going to turn back anytime soon.
Yeah, man. Cool. Well, dude, I imagine like shipping is one of those things that before Amazon, man, I never really thought about shipping being as big as it is. But I heard a statistic a while back that within the first 3 months of COVID, that marketplaces and e-commerce stores sold more in the first 3 months of COVID than they did in the previous 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really just shifted the way that people purchase. I mean, just looking at my own house, Amazon guy or gal shows up at least once a day, right? Dropping something off. So shipping is just one of those things we don't really think too much of, but man, it is a huge, huge industry. So definitely looking forward to having you kind of share some of your insights. But let's go ahead and kick this off and fire away the first question at you. And that is, that was a great dovetail into that. How would you describe, or how would you, just kind of tell us of how with your company's partnership journey, what does that look like since you've been at Shipware? Has there been any shifts as to how you guys kind of go to market and get the revenue engine going?
Yeah, partnerships has always been a part of Shipware, and in our perspective on our team, it was a evolution, I'd say. And it's really started 3 years ago, where they hired our predecessor, and he really put in this methodology around partnernomics and really streamlining a process in place. And as we all know, in partnerships, it's not a flick of the light and all of a sudden everything's fixed. It's an ongoing process there. And so slowly started seeing it evolve, starting with partner pairings. As an account executive, I was paired with multiple partners, where we work on those programs, build those relationships, just to really help each other out in growing our own book of business and driving revenue and closing deals. But as the company's grown, and what we've seen in the industry is it's been an extreme challenge on our BDR team and direct sales team to really focus on getting some direct leads going their way. As you might send out 100 emails, 100 phone calls, and you'll get one meeting set from that. And so there has to be a better way and more alignment there. And so we found that looking at the gaps in our services, we were able to then position our partner there to then not only complement what we're doing there, but really be an advocate for the shippers. And that's really where our foundation, our ethos is here at Shipware, is to be advocates for Shipware. So if we don't have the service and the offering there, we want to find that gap in that solution for the partner, and then of course create mutual beneficial arrangements there that both companies are able to grow and prosper with that relationship.
Well, Andrew, I'm going to ask you to back up a little bit, and that is like, so Shipware is a company. I mean, shipping has so many different kind of facets and specialties and little niche plays in it. The 30,000-foot view, I mean, what spaces does Shipware play in?
So Shipware at our core, we're really focused on parcel business, so high volume parcel shippers and third-party fulfillment shippers. That's our core business. And so we're working with companies that are, like the Macy's, the Nikes of the world that are doing a lot of volume outbound and inbound to their facilities. The challenge that we've always found is with UPS and FedEx and these other carriers is that rates are extremely high and they have control of the market. And so where our job is to help them reduce spend and really manage the risk and improve relationships with those carriers. But we also know there's a lot of other components that are part of that, whether you want to have a good post-purchase experience, no one likes, calling up a company saying, where's my order at? And so putting some process in place there to help complement those services. Palletized freight, LTL and truckload, that's another area that we personally don't touch, but we have a partner that fills in that gap that we send those opportunities to, that then we can then couple in with the other services on the parcel side. So, we focus on parcel and third-party fulfillment as our core, but it really expands to every piece of the shipping, whether it's the first mile all the way to the last mile, and the post-purchase experience to, just really having visibility into what that looks like. And partners really fill in a lot of those gaps.
Yeah, awesome. Matt, I'm going to ask you to expand on something that you hit on, and that is role-based partner pairing, or the partner pairings that you guys do. That's not very common. So I'm going to ask you to describe, what that means and how it helps you guys, and who is a good fit for an arrangement like that.
Yeah. And to actually start in the last question, kind of, because that's where the journey starts with partner pairing, is partner pairing really works well for smaller organizations because it is, as you know, as partner professionals, it's hard to manage a partner sometimes, and really to work on developing those partnerships when you have a number of fires that you're trying to work and put out. And what's really great about partner pairing is it gives the account executives at your organization a chance to pair with the account executive at your partner's organization. That builds a one-on-one relationship that then you can have weekly, monthly, quarterly cadence calls to understand what's going on in your business, what's going on in our business, what's your pipeline look like, what challenges are you having, do you have anything that's close to the finish line that we could fill in with our services to help you close that. Things of that nature is really, really nice that we found partner pairing to help kind of create that hockey stick growth and move the needle when you're looking to close deals or even just extract leads from your partners there. And so it works well. It's not one of those things that maybe is great for some of those larger organizations and more mature partner programs, but you're starting out in partnerships. You want to really make a quick impact, find those opportunities, create one-on-one relationships with the partner AEs and your AEs. And I'm confident once you get those cadence calls going and you give them direction and goals and alignment, you'll see some really strong growth in that area.
And so whenever we have our partners, it's, obviously very commonplace to have partnering professional to partnering professional, and you're paired together, right? That's kind of what partnering is. But with your organizations and others that do this partner pairing approach is to put additional tentacles into the organization and go account exec to account exec. You could go SDR to SDR. You can do some other pairings across the organization, and it just develops a stronger relationship, better communications, more fluid communications. And of course, you're not going to do that with all of your partners. You do it with a subset, and truly those that you see as being strategic, that you can really make some great strides with. But it can certainly be a powerful approach.
Very powerful approach. You're exactly right. And, again, when we started, I'd say, restart the partner program 3 years ago here at Shipware. That was the first thing that our direct VP did, is they implemented that program, and from there it was able to mature. And now we have a little bit of both. We have some partner pairings on one side, but then myself and my colleague then manage more of the strategic, larger overall overlining partner relationships to help drive things forward there.
Awesome. All right, man. Let me fire another question at you. What are the common traits that you see in successful partnership teams? So whether you're looking at your guys' team there at Shipware, or looking at some of the great companies that your partners that you look up to, what are some of those common traits?
So I think first and foremost, before you do anything, if you're new to partnering or looking to start a partnering program at your company, you got to have executive buy-in. Without executive buy-in, you're not going to have alignment. You're going to be really going to this blind. And yeah, you might find some success in the short term, but it's not sustainable. And so having that executive buy-in is really going to help set the stage for the next piece, which that next piece is really then developing really your partner personas. Who are you looking after? What type of partners are you looking to build off of from there? And so then once you have those partner personas in there, the type of partners you want to connect with and build off of. Then you keep moving down there, and then you start looking at really developing that team. And so with our team, for example, here at Shipware, we meet daily. If we're not meeting daily, we're for sure meeting weekly there. You got to have clear communication to collaborate, understand what's going on there, build out direct communications, and move forward from there, from your internal plan there. From a trait from like a partner development to partner relationship, it's really important to then really establish, clear communications. We usually do that through strategic partner plans, SPPs. And what we find that does is really put guardrails and alignment to what the end goal looks like. Really gives us direction and gives us something to strive for and keep us accountable as we move forward through the process. So if you don't have a plan in place, it's really not going to find success. If you don't have executive buy-in, you're not going to find success. And so those are a couple of the key traits there that you want to make sure you emphasize as you start your program out.
Well, another thing that you guys are really good at and emphasizing with those key partners is like the 90-day plans and the action plans, and just defining what success looks like mutually, not only for you guys at Shipware, but also for your partners, and kind of running those sprints and those cadences, but have a mutual goal in mind that you're running towards. I'd like for you to just kind of share a little bit about, the difference between the traditional approach to partnering of, let's go get a bunch of partners, hopefully they learn what we do, we learn what they do, but it's more of just kind of this relationship of hope and convenience, which we know never happens in partnerships. But just talk to us a little bit about setting it up where it's more overt of what you're trying to accomplish, and even recruiting and contracting with partners on the front end with this mutual understanding of getting results for each partner.
Yeah. So, we really focus a lot more on planning up front. I mean, we spend more of our time, I think, planning than sometimes we do actually executing on that plan, just because there's so much work that goes into it. When we meet with a partner, we want to know for sure going into that call, this is how it's going to look, a year down the road, 2 years down the road, and then we strive for that. And so we build out those key cadence calls and really get structure around that. So setting up those goals, not saying that, if you don't hit those goals, you're done, but really building out a system. So at Shipware, this year we built out our tiered structure. So, our top performing partners are tier ones all the way down to our non-managed partners. And that keeps them accountable, because if you drop based off of what we agreed upon, you go down to the next tier. So we really build that out. It really comes from actually the methodology that we implemented through PartnerNomics, which really helps us keep us in line with what we're looking to accomplish, which really is a key trait that I actually forgot about to include in that, because it really is the baseline for all this stuff right here. So it's really a combination of a lot of different things that we look at there. But the big goal is just really having clear communication with your partners and keep them accountable for the expectations, and having those cadence calls to then drive things forward with your partner reviews.
Awesome. Let me hit you with the next question. That is, we talked about the logistics industry and how it's changed a little bit, but From a partnership perspective, how do you see partnerships continuing to influence and change and evolve the logistics and e-commerce space?
Yeah, I mean, logistics can be a grind. When you're talking to a logistics manager, they're getting blown up every single day by 200-300 phone calls a day, trying to ask for loads, trying to ask for a new shipment, things of that nature. And so to try to go through a cold call or email, it just can be completely blind there. And so we know that to really expand on that, you really need to develop those partnerships, because people want to work with people that they trust. And if they're going to work with that company or your partner, for example, they're going to trust you, and then they're going to trust that you'll be able to facilitate their needs there. So that's where just the direction of not just the logistics and e-commerce industry is going, but just, direct sales is going in general. It's just hard to do much there. But in addition to that, we find that it's such a tight-knit market on logistics and e-commerce industry. Everything just connects with each other. If you need a carrier here, you need also a LTL provider. If you have an LTL provider, you might need a container that comes in to bring in those products and things of that nature. And so if you have everything connected, you need someone that can fill in those gaps in each hole there. So as I mentioned before, we focus on parcel and fulfillment. So we need something that's going to fill in those other gaps. That's going to be part of the industry, because if they're looking at reducing spend on the parcel, they're also going to be looking at other areas of the business, whether it's the post-purchase experience or whether it's just improving other cost structures within their logistics arm.
Yeah. But I was reading an article several months ago, and it said, regardless of what type of a business you're in, your biggest competitor is Amazon. And I kind of scratched my head, like, what does that mean? I went on to read, and it said that Amazon is, just because they're so focused on the customer and giving them information, giving them choice, giving them, free returns. I mean, just great customer experience. That's really, they're trying to set the gold standard of what customers should expect from the companies that they work with, regardless of what industry we're in. And I would imagine, like, especially now that, like I said, my wife and I, we tend to get Amazon packages at least one a day, right? And they make it very convenient, right? Through the app to figure out where the shipment is, when it's going to be here. I can return it if I'm not happy. So it seems like there's even more opportunities, I would imagine, to work with even services and information providers that are coming into the shipping space, just to give customers a great end-to-end experience with that.
Yeah, every sales call, when I was account executive here at Shipware, every sales call, one of the things we talk about with the industry is the Amazon effect. Everyone wants it today, and they want it super cheap. And they also want visibility, like you're mentioning there. And so the challenge, though, with that is, if you're going to partner with Amazon to offer that, then you're also going to give away a lot of margin. And margins are pretty thin on the e-commerce side, or can be thin depending on how it looks there. And so what's really nice about some of the programs out there is there's so many different companies that offer different components of what Amazon can do. And so if we're able to couple that together, you can essentially offer an Amazon solution, bring in 4 to 5 different partners there, which is really what we've kind of been doing here through our affiliate partner network. It just makes it really easy to then pick and choose, and then find those holes and gaps that, hey, they need this. They need something that is a chat box, so they can inform them when their product is going to be delivered and have an exact timestamp on it. It really just helps that service component there. And so that's one area that just partnering is more important than ever in the logistics and e-commerce industries, because they want to replicate Amazon, and they can't do it without going through other areas. Exactly,
man. That's the thing that popped into my head. Right? We talk about this being the decade of ecosystems. Well, man, it's a great example of how people in the shipping logistics space can team up, work together, build partnerships, and kind of create their own ecosystem that can manage, clients' needs from end to end, but do it in a nice, seamless manner. So that's an awesome.
And a great example of that too is a transportation management system, which allows you to rate shop as a shipper. What's really nice about that is like an easy post or a ship station they partner with 10, 20, 30 different carriers so they can offer a shipper that full experience of having access to almost the Amazon rates and having to shop those different rate structures. And so we're seeing that all the time, whether it's we just want to make a direct partner relationship just to share leads back and forth, or dive deeper into some sort of integration there, which is kind of what these TMS transportation management systems do, is offer that guidance to shippers. And so I think a lot of people don't realize that partnering is happening when they're using some of these programs, but it can't happen without partnering there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, last question for you, buddy, before we let you go, and that is, what resources are needed or are helpful to be effective in partnering? Man, it's been said there's over 100 moving pieces, over 100 components to a really mature partnering organization. What are some of the resources out there that you would recommend for people to use or leverage?
I mean, not to plug you too fast, but Partnernomics is a pretty quick one there.
We'll take it, man. We'll take it.
My colleague and I, when we started the journey in partnerships, we went through the Partnernomics Foundation, and man, without that as a resource, we would not be in the place we are right now. We're seeing, tremendous growth compared to last year. Revenue, our pipeline's full. It's a different direction than if you looked at our team last year at the same time. And it's due to the resources that Partnernomics did provide there. But along with that, really just establishing a methodology is really what it comes down to. Whether it's Partnernomics or not, you need that methodology, you need that science, you need something that's going to give you direction there. But in relation to that too, you really want to get that coaching there as well. Partnering is a challenging area at times because it falls into a number of different teams, number of different buckets. So on our team, we're touching, revenue, operations, tech at times. And at that time, you also sometimes have no clear direction. So identifying a coach, identifying an advisor that you can trust to help, ping ideas off of, get direction off of, is vital to success there. But then along with that, there are so many different resources out there, whether it's, developing a partner portal, Crossbeam and Reveal, things of that nature that can help just, once you have the partnership team developed, once you have that program going, really helping elevate your partnership to the next level and automate some of those processes there, so you can spend time growing and cultivating those partnerships that you really want to focus your time on, and really seeing the rewards and the benefits of that to your organization. Yeah,
love that, man. It's cool to see new technology even coming in to kind of help support this. I mean, we say it's people, process, technology, right? So just getting the right people in the right seats that are really motivated to do partnering, and they have the skill set, and equipping them with the methodologies, the tools, the structured process to do that. And then, definitely start to enable the technology to make it all happen as efficiently as possible. Like you mentioned, man, there's so many different tentacles. There's almost no area of the business that we don't touch. And that's talking inside of your company. Now, partnerships, I mean, it's based on working externally with other organizations. So it's infinitely more complex, but I think that's one of the things that draws people like us into partnerships. It's so exciting. No 2 days ever the same. So
amen to that. It's sometimes you have to hold on. It's a roller coaster of emotion. You get really excited about certain things, you get those high highs and those low lows, very similar to what you maybe experience in sales. But the difference is that it's just always evolving. It's not like when you're in a sales motion that, once it's closed or once it's closed lost, that it's just done. A partnership, one initiative might not work out the way you want to, but then you could review it, analyze it, adjust, pivot a little bit, and then find a different path that you might find more success there. And we've seen it time and time again. We try to launch a program at the beginning of this year that was complete bust, and it really drove me nuts. It was one of my lowest points in this role, but then turn around a month later and we have another initiative that was launching out that we had completely different success with that. And it's because we were able to then pivot, identify what went wrong, make those adjustments, work with the partner to then establish and realign on those goals, and then implement those goals. And now we're finding that success now come to light because we were able to pivot like that.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, Andrew, thanks for carving out some time to chat with us today, man. I sure do appreciate that. And I really enjoy working with Shipware. You guys are an awesome organization doing some great things.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mark.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of the Partnernomics Show. Don't forget to subscribe to get the newest episodes at thepartnernomicsshow.com. Special thanks to our sponsors, Iolite. To learn more about Iolite, visit iolitepro.com. And Partnernomics, the science of partnering. To learn more about the suite of Partnernomics courses, coaching programs, and consulting services, visit partnernomics.com. See you on the next episode.